In the year 2147, Earth was a quiet place. For more than 100 years, people had stopped fighting big wars against each other. Countries joined into one world government called the United Earth Council. Everyone worked together to make life better. They built clean cities, grew food without harming the land, and learned new science every day. Most humans lived long lives, stayed healthy, and felt safe. They did not shout about their power. They kept it hidden. The planet looked normal from far away. Satellites circled quietly. Small ships moved between Earth and Mars for mining. No huge fleets waited in space. No giant guns pointed at the stars. Humans liked it that way. They did not want trouble from outside. They watched the night sky with telescopes, but they rarely sent messages to other worlds. When strange signals came, they listened carefully and then stayed silent. One clear morning in Washington, D.C., President Laura Bennett sat in her office. She drank black coffee and read reports about new schools in Africa. Her assistant knocked and walked in fast. "Madam President," the assistant said, "we have a message from space. It is not from our people. It uses our language, but the source is very far away." Laura put down her cup. "Show me." They walked to the secure room under the White House. A large screen lit up. A tall, thin alien appeared in the hologram. Its skin was pale blue. Its eyes were black with no white parts. Sharp teeth showed when it spoke. Behind it stood other aliens of different shapes, all wearing dark uniforms with gold marks. "I am High Envoy Varkas of the Krell Dominion," the alien said in a cold, flat voice. "We speak for the Galactic Empire. Your world, called Earth, has been observed. You are primitive. You have no place in the greater order. The Empire claims your system. You will give control to us. You will send resources, metals, water, food, workers. You will remove all weapons. You have 72 Earth hours. If you refuse, our fleet will arrive and take what we want. Resistance is useless. Your end will be quick." The hologram went dark. Laura looked at her team. General William Carter stood tall with arms crossed. Admiral Elizabeth Moore sat at the table, calm. Chief Scientist Robert Klein pushed his glasses up and waited. No one spoke for a long minute. Laura broke the silence. "They think we are weak because we do not show off." William nodded. "They scanned us. Their sensors saw our old stations, our small reactors, our defense satellites. They saw no big ships, no planet killers. They laughed when they sent this." Elizabeth leaned forward. "We have listened to their open channels since the message arrived. Their commanders are already planning the landing zones. They want New York, Beijing, Mumbai, Sao Paulo. They think we will beg after the first bombs fall." Robert smiled a little. "They do not know what we built under the ground." Laura stood up. "Call the council. Tell them the truth, but keep details secret from the public for now. We do not want panic. Then, prepare the broadcast." 2 hours later, every screen on Earth showed the president. People stopped in streets, in homes, in factories. Children looked up from games. Workers paused their machines. Laura spoke clearly. "Today we received a demand from an alien group called the Galactic Empire. They want our world. They gave us 3 days to surrender. I tell you now, we will not give them anything. We are ready. Our people are strong. Our home is ours. Stay calm. Go about your day. We will protect you." The message ended. For a short time, fear moved through cities. Some people cried, some shouted, but most went back to work. They trusted their leaders. They had seen hard times before and came through. In Houston, engineer John Miller watched the news in his small apartment. He worked on the deep sensors that listened to space. He knew what waited under Texas soil. He smiled, turned off the screen, and went to check his equipment one more time. In Chicago, Nurse Mary Evans packed extra supplies in the hospital. She did not think they would need them, but she prepared anyway. Her husband, a pilot named David Lee, called her from the airport. "They are coming," he said, "but we are ready." Mary answered, "I know. See you tonight." In Seattle, young student Charles Green sat with friends in a park. They talked about the message. One friend said, "What if they are right? What if we really are weak?" Charles shook his head. "You will see. They picked the wrong planet." High above Earth, on the United Earth Defense Force Command Station, Admiral Elizabeth Moore looked at the star map. Red dots showed where the Imperial fleet would come out of hyperspace. The dots were near Pluto. She turned to her officers. "Status?" she asked. "All nodes report green," one officer said. "The field is stable. Power at full. They will arrive in 71 hours. William Carter walked in. "The President wants daily updates. No leaks. The world must see this as simple. Let them think we are surprised." Elizabeth nodded. "Good. Keep it quiet. When the time comes, the galaxy will learn why no one should come here uninvited." Far away on the Krell flagship Eternal Dominion, High Envoy Varkas stood on the bridge. His officers bowed when he entered. "Report," he ordered. A lower commander stepped forward. "Scans confirm. Their defenses are basic. No energy weapons above Class 3. No fleet larger than 20 ships. Population is high, but soft. They will break quickly." Varkas showed his sharp teeth in a smile. "Then we will enjoy this easy victory. Prepare the landing troops. I want their capital city first. Let them see our strength." Thousands of ships, bright and terrible, flew toward the small blue world. They did not know what waited. They did not know that under the quiet surface of Earth, something patient and unstoppable had been waiting for a very long time. The 72 hours began. 72 hours passed like any other days on Earth. People went to work. Children went to school. Shops stayed open. The sky looked the same, blue during the day, full of stars at night. But everyone knew something big was coming. News channels showed the same short message from President Laura Bennett again and again. She said the same words: "Stay calm, we are ready." Most people listened. They trusted her. They trusted the quiet strength they felt inside. Deep in space, far past Pluto, a bright flash appeared. Thousands of points of light burst into view. The Imperial fleet had arrived. More than 2,000 huge ships filled the darkness. Each one was shaped like a long, sharp spear. Their hulls were black and gold, covered in glowing blue lines. Fighters swarmed around them like angry insects, small, fast, deadly. In the center floated the flagship, Eternal Dominion. It was so large that it blocked stars behind it. Lights ran along its sides like rivers of fire. Inside the bridge of Eternal Dominion, High Envoy Varkas stood tall. His blue skin looked brighter under the red lights. Officers around him checked screens and spoke in low voices. One officer turned and bowed. "High Envoy," he said, "we are in position. All systems green. Their sun is ahead. The blue world is third from it. Scans show no change. Their defenses are still weak. No hidden fleets, no new weapons detected." Varkas looked at the main screen. A clear image of Earth appeared. Small, round, mostly blue with white clouds. It looked peaceful. Too peaceful. "They hide nothing," Varkas said. "Primitives always think size means power. We have size. We have power. Open the channel. Let them hear us one last time." The communications officer nodded. A deep hum filled the bridge. Varkas stepped forward. His voice went out to every ship in the fleet and straight to Earth. "This is High Envoy Varkas of the Krell Dominion. Your time is up. The Galactic Empire claims this system. Surrender now. Land your leaders. Open your cities. Send your tribute. If you obey, you will live as servants. If you fight, you will die. Choose in the next 10 minutes. After that, we begin." A message ended. Silence followed on the bridge. Varkas waited. He expected screams, pleas, or angry replies. Nothing came. Earth stayed quiet. "Fools," Varkas said. "They think silence will save them. Move the fleet forward. Standard approach. First wave targets their main cities. Show them what real power looks like." The ships began to move. Engines glowed bright. The fleet formed a perfect arrow shape, pointed at the sun. Fighters spread out like wings. They crossed the orbit of Neptune, then Uranus, then Saturn. No Earthships came to meet them. No missiles flew. The aliens felt sure of victory. On Earth, millions watched. Telescopes in backyards, phones held high, big screens in city squares, all showed the same thing. Red dots moved closer on maps. People stood in streets. Some held hands. Some prayed. Some just stared. In Houston, engineer John Miller sat in his control room. Screens covered the walls. Green lines showed power levels. Small symbols blinked. Ready, ready, ready. John touched one button. A soft voice answered from speakers. Node Texas reports full charge. Field generators stable. John smiled. Good. Keep watching. In Chicago, Nurse Mary Evans stood outside the hospital with other workers. They looked up at the sky. No ships yet. Just stars. Mary's phone buzzed. A message from her husband David. I'm at the airfield. All planes grounded. But we're okay. Love you. Mary typed back fast. See you soon. In Seattle, student Charles Green sat on a rooftop with friends. They had a small telescope. Charles looked through it. I see them, he said. They look huge, like knives in space. One friend laughed nervously. Think we can stop them? Charles lowered the telescope. We already have. They just don't know it yet. High above Earth, on the United Earth Defense Force Command Station, Admiral Elizabeth Moore stood with her arms behind her back. General William Carter stood next to her. Screens showed the Red Fleet moving closer. Numbers counted down. Distance, time, speed. 40 minutes to lunar orbit, an officer said. Elizabeth nodded. All stations report? Every node is online, the officer answered. Power at maximum. Resonance field holding. They are inside the outer shell now. William looked at Elizabeth. They scanned us 3 times already. Still nothing. Their sensors see only what we let them see. Elizabeth allowed a small smile. Good. Let them come all the way in. Make it clean. On the Eternal Dominion, Varkas watched the blue planet grow larger on the screen. He turned to his weapons officer. Prepare Phase 1. Target their largest population centers. 10% power. Enough to scare them, not enough to waste fuel. The officer pressed controls. Alarms sounded softly. Turrets on every ship turned. Long barrels glowed. Plasma began to build. Antimatter torpedoes slid into launch tubes. Fighters moved ahead, ready to dive. Fire when ready, Varkas ordered. The fleet reached the orbit of the moon. Earth filled half the main screen now. Cities twinkled below like tiny lights. Varkas felt joy. Easy conquests were the best. Then something changed. A low warning tone sounded. One officer looked up fast. High Envoy. Sensors are confused. Energy readings from the planet are rising, but no source visible. Varkas frowned. What kind of energy? Unknown type. It is everywhere, around the system, like a net closing. Another officer spoke. Shields are still up. No threat detected. Maybe their reactors overloading in fear. Varkas laughed. Primitives panic. Ignore it. Fire now. The order went out. Every ship released its first volley. Bright beams of plasma shot forward. Torpedoes launched in waves. They flew straight toward Earth. Fast, unstoppable, deadly. On Earth, people saw the lights in the sky. Long streaks of white and blue. Gasps rose from crowds. Some ran for cover. Most stood still. They watched. John Miller in Houston looked at his main screen. The weapons were coming. Red lines crossed the map. He spoke into his microphone. All nodes, stand by, on my mark. Deep under mountains, under oceans, under cities, machines waited. They were not guns. They were not bombs. They were something older, something smarter. They had waited years for this moment. The Imperial weapons flew closer. They passed Mars. They passed the asteroid belt. They entered the space where Earth's quiet defenses waited. Admiral Elizabeth Moore watched the clock. 5 seconds, she said. William Carter counted softly. 4, 3, 2, 1. Elizabeth gave the word. Activate. Under the ground, the nodes woke up. A soft hum started. It grew, it spread. Invisible waves rolled out from Earth. They touched the incoming beams. They touched the torpedoes. They touched the fighters. And everything stopped. The plasma beams froze in space. Their light hung still, like frozen fire. Torpedoes halted mid-flight. Engines died. Fighters spun slowly, dead in the void. Not one explosion, not one crash. Just silence. On the Eternal Dominion, alarms screamed. Lights flashed red. Officers shouted. Drives offline. Shields collapsing. Communications lost. Varkas stared at the screen. His fleet, his mighty fleet, floated like broken toys. Nothing moved. Nothing fired. Nothing lived. "What is this?" he whispered. Far below on Earth, John Miller leaned back in his chair. He smiled wide. "They are here," he said to the empty room. "And now they learn." The invaders had come all the way in. They had dared to cross the line. And humanity had waited, patient and sure, for the moment to show them why no one should ever try. The Imperial fleet hung frozen in space. Not one ship moved. Not one light blinked on purpose. The plasma beams that had shot toward Earth stayed caught in the black void, glowing but still, like ice made of fire. The torpedoes floated without spin. Fighters drifted slowly, their engines dark and quiet. Inside every ship, alarms kept screaming, but no one could answer them. The Krell crew felt their bodies grow heavy. Their legs would not lift. Their arms stayed at their sides. Fear filled the bridges and corridors. High Envoy Varkas tried to shout orders. His mouth opened, but no sound came out at first. Then a weak croak escaped. "What is happening?" No one could reply. The weapons officer stared at his controls. His fingers would not press the buttons. The navigation officer tried to stand. He fell back into his chair like a broken doll. Across the fleet, thousands of aliens felt the same thing. Their minds raced, but their bodies refused to obey. It was not pain. It was something worse. It was nothing. Their strength had vanished. On Earth, the command station stayed calm. Admiral Elizabeth Moore watched the main screen. Thousands of red dots showed the Imperial ships. All stopped, all silent. She turned to General William Carter. "Field is holding," she said. "No leaks, no escapes." William nodded. "They are inside the bubble now. The resonance has them locked. Drives nullified. Inertia cancelled. Energy siphoned. They cannot even think fast enough to panic properly." An officer at a side console spoke up. "Node reports from all sectors. Australia, Africa, Europe, Americas, all green. The cascade is complete. Solar system sealed." Elizabeth allowed herself one deep breath. "Good. Now we wait 5 minutes. Let them feel it." Down on the surface, people looked up. The streaks of light in the sky had frozen. Bright lines hung there like strange artwork. Some cheered quietly. Some stood with open mouths. Phones recorded everything. News channels switched to live views from space telescopes. Commentators spoke in low voices. "This is not normal," one said. "The weapons are not moving. Nothing is moving." In Houston, John Miller leaned back in his chair. His screens showed green across every line. He picked up a coffee mug and took a slow sip. "They thought they could just take us," he said to the empty room. "They thought wrong." In Chicago, Mary Evans stepped outside the hospital again. The frozen beams looked like stars that forgot to fall. She smiled for the first time that day. Her phone rang. It was David. "They stopped," he said. "The lights just stopped." "I know," Mary answered. "It's working." In Seattle, Charles Green and his friends jumped up on the rooftop. "Look," one shouted, "they're stuck." Charles laughed. "Told you, they picked the wrong planet." Back in space, the 5 minutes passed. On the Eternal Dominion, Varkas finally managed to speak again. His voice came out slow and thick. "Emergency. Override. All ships, retreat." But no ship moved. Engines stayed dead. Thrusters gave no push. The whole fleet was trapped in a perfect stillness. Sensors still worked in a weak way. They showed the truth. A field surrounded every ship, every fighter, every piece of metal. The field came from nowhere and everywhere. It touched the vacuum itself. It bent the rules of motion. It stole speed. It stole power. It stole time. One lower officer on a smaller cruiser managed to whisper into his log, "This is not technology we know. This is nature turned against us. We are nothing here." Varkas heard reports like that from other ships. His sharp teeth clenched. He forced his arm to move. It took all his will to touch one control. A red light flashed. It was the last signal he could send. A call for help to the Empire's core worlds. The message left the ship in a weak burst. Then even communications died. On Earth, Chief Scientist Robert Klein sat in a quiet lab under Colorado. He watched data flow in. Numbers climbed. Graphs showed perfect balance. He spoke into a secure line to the command station. "Resonance at peak stability," he said. "We can hold them forever if needed, or release the next phase." Elizabeth's voice came back clear. "Hold for now. Let the world see. Then we finish it." President Laura Bennett watched from the White House Situation Room. Screens showed the frozen fleet from every angle. Satellites, drones, ground telescopes, all fed the same image. She turned to her advisors. "They came to scare us," she said. "Now they are the ones who cannot move." An advisor nodded. "Public reaction is calm. No riots, no panic. People are waiting." Laura smiled faintly. "Good. They trust us. Now we show them why." The command went out quietly. Not loud, not dramatic. Just a simple word to every node buried deep in the earth. "Prepare Phase 2." Under the crust, machines hummed louder. They did not fire guns. They did not launch missiles. They reached into the fabric of space in a new way. The resonance field tightened. It squeezed. Not hard enough to crush metal yet. Just enough to remind. On the Imperial ships, lights dimmed more. Air grew thin. Gravity plates failed in places. Crew members floated a little, then settled again. Panic spread in slow motion. Some aliens clawed at walls. Others prayed to old gods. Varkas stood frozen at his command chair. His black eyes stared at the screen. Earth looked back at him. Small, blue, calm. It had not fired a single shot. It had not raised a shield. It had simply waited. A thought came to Varkas then. A terrible thought. Maybe this world had never been primitive. Maybe it had chosen to look weak. Maybe it had let them come close on purpose. To teach a lesson. He tried to speak again. "Retreat, all ships, full retreat." But the words died in his throat. The field pressed harder. His lungs felt empty. His heart slowed. On the command station, Elizabeth Moore watched the clock. 2 minutes until full activation. William Carter stood beside her. "They are breaking inside, life signs dropping on outer ships." "Good," Elizabeth said. "They dared to come here. They dared to threaten our home. Now they pay the price." The nodes under Earth sang together, a low, deep song that no one on the surface could hear. But space heard it. The vacuum listened. The stars themselves seemed to lean closer. John Miller in Houston watched his final screen. A single button waited under his finger. He did not press it yet. He waited for the Admiral's word. In every city, people kept looking up. The frozen lights in the sky started to dim. Not explode, not burn, just fade, slowly, surely. The Galactic Empire had sent its best. its biggest, its proudest. They had crossed light years to take a quiet world. They had laughed at the small blue planet. They had demanded surrender. Now they hung helpless, caught in a trap they never saw. A trap made not of steel or fire, but of understanding. Understanding of how the universe really worked. Understanding that humanity had spent centuries learning in silence. The 5 minutes ended. Elizabeth Moore spoke one word. Now. Deep under the ground, the nodes answered. The word now left Admiral Elizabeth Moore's mouth like a quiet breath. On every screen in the command station, the frozen Imperial fleet waited. No one moved on Earth. No cheers yet. Everyone knew this part had to be cleaned. No mess, no noise, just gone. Deep under the ground, the nodes answered. They did not roar, they did not flash. They simply changed one small thing in the rules of the universe. The resonance field tightened again. This time it did not hold. It pushed. Gentle at first, then firm, then final. Small drones rose from hidden places. They came out of the asteroid belt. They slipped from dark craters on the moon. They floated up from Lagrange points where no one had looked. Each drone was no bigger than a car. Plain gray metal. No guns, no bright lights, just smooth shapes that moved too fast and too smooth for normal machines. They flew straight to the Imperial ships. No warnings, no battle cries. They moved like shadows between the stars. The first drone reached a small Krell cruiser on the edge of the fleet. It stopped 10 meters away. A soft pulse came out, barely a whisper of energy. The pulse touched the cruiser's hull. The metal changed. It did not melt. It did not explode. It turned to fine gray dust. The dust hung for a second, then drifted away on solar wind. The whole ship followed. One moment it was there, solid, proud, full of life. The next moment it was nothing. Gone. Not even wreckage. Not even smoke. More drones moved in. They spread out like bees finding flowers. Each one picked a target. A pulse, a touch, a ship vanished. Fighters first, small and fast, now small clouds of dust, then destroyers, then carriers. The drones worked in perfect order. No mistakes, no rush. They knew exactly where to go. On the Eternal Dominion, High Envoy Varkas felt the change. His bridge lights flickered once, then dimmed. He looked at the main screen. One by one, green dots that showed his fleet turned black. Not red for damage, just black. Empty. "Report," he tried to shout. His voice came out weak. A surviving officer crawled to a console. Ships, disappearing. No explosions, no fire. They unravel. Varkas stared. Another dot vanished, then another. The drones reached the inner circle now. Closer ships, bigger ships. His own ship felt heavier. Air tasted strange. Metal walls looked thinner. He turned to the viewport. Earth still sat there, blue and calm. No anger in its clouds, no rage in its oceans. Just quiet, like it had always been. A drone appeared outside the viewport. Small, silent, it hovered. Varkas saw no eyes on it, no weapons, just a smooth ball of gray. It pulsed once. The pulse entered the ship. Not through a door, not through a crack. It passed through the hull like the hull was not there. Lights died section by section. Consoles sparked and went dark. Crew members gasped. Some fell. Some froze where they stood. Varkas felt it in his bones. His skin grew cold. His sharp teeth chattered. He tried to give one last order. All abandon. The word died. The pulse reached the bridge. Metal under his feet turned soft, then to dust. The chair he stood by crumbled. The floor opened like sand. Varkas fell slowly. No scream, no fight left. The Eternal Dominion folded. Not broke, folded, like paper pushed in from every side. The kilometer-long ship bent inward. Towers collapsed into nothing. Engines vanished. In 10 seconds the flagship was gone. A faint cloud of dust spread out. Then even the dust thinned. Solar wind took it away. Nothing left. Thousands of ships, tens of thousands of fighters, all turned to dust. No fireballs, no crashes into planets, no pieces falling to Earth. Just clean, empty space. Telescopes on Earth showed the same view before and after. Stars shining clear. No clutter, no ruin. In Houston, John Miller watched his screens. One by one the red dots disappeared. He counted softly. 900, 1200, 1800, then 0. All gone. He leaned back. Done. In Chicago, Mary Evans stood with hospital staff. The frozen lights in the sky faded one by one. Not fast, not dramatic, slow and sure. People around her started to smile. Some hugged, some wiped tears. Mary looked up and whispered, "Thank you." In Seattle, Charles Green and his friends jumped again on the rooftop. "They're gone," one shouted. "All gone." Charles stared at the empty sky. They never had a chance. On the command station, Admiral Elizabeth Moore watched the last dot vanish. The screen turned blue. Normal space again. She turned to General William Carter. "Confirm sweep," she said. William spoke into his line. "All drones report complete. No survivors, no debris. Field collapsing now." A soft hum faded from the speakers. The resonance ended. Space felt normal again. Ships that had been held still were now just empty nothing. Elizabeth looked at the team. "Well done. Send the report to the President." Down in the White House, President Laura Bennett received the message. A single line on her screen. Threat neutralized, system secure. She closed her eyes for a second, then opened them. She walked to the window. Night had fallen over Washington. Stars shone bright. No streaks, no shadows, just peace. She pressed a button. The broadcast system came alive. Every screen on Earth lit up again. "My fellow humans," Laura said. Her voice stayed calm. "The invaders came. They threatened our home. They fired weapons at us. But they are gone now. Not beaten, not damaged. Gone. Our defenses worked perfectly. No one was hurt. No cities were touched. Earth is safe." She paused. "We did not want this fight. We did not ask for it. But when someone comes to take what is ours, we answer. Tonight, we showed the galaxy one simple truth. Earth is not weak. Earth is not open. Earth protects its own." People in streets cheered, not wild screams. Quiet cheers, proud ones. In bars, in homes, in parks. Hands clapped, voices rose together. Laura continued. "Go back to your lives. Hug your families. Sleep well. Tomorrow is a new day. And the stars know now, do not come here unless invited." The broadcast ended. Screens went dark. People turned to each other. Smiles, hugs. Some laughed. Some cried happy tears. In Houston, John Miller shut down his console. He stood up, stretched, walked outside. The night air felt clean. He looked up. Stars looked the same, but they felt different, like they were watching back. In the command station, Elizabeth Moore gave the final order. Drones return to base. Nodes to standby. Full sweep in 24 hours. William Carter smiled for the first time. They dared. We answered. Elizabeth nodded, and we answered instantly. Far out in the black, where the fleet had been, only vacuum remained. No graves, no monuments, no signs at all. The Galactic Empire had sent its armada to claim a small world. It lost everything in minutes, not with a bang, not with fire, with silence, with dust, with the cold fact that some places are not meant to be taken. Earth turned on its axis. Day came again. People woke up, made coffee, went to work. Life continued. But something had changed inside every person. A quiet pride. A sure knowledge. They were not just survivors. They were the ones who ended threats before breakfast. The galaxy would hear the story soon. Ships that escaped the outer rim would carry the tale. Whispers in alien ports. Warnings in dark corners. Do not go to Sol. Do not touch the blue world. They do not fight, they erase. And Earth stayed quiet. Ordinary on the surface, unchanged to the eye, but forever safe, forever sure, forever ready. Morning came to Earth like every other morning. The sun rose over the Pacific. Birds sang in trees. People woke up, made breakfast, kissed their children goodbye. Coffee machines hummed. Cars moved on roads. Life went on. But something felt different. A quiet weight had lifted. The sky looked clearer. The stars from last night felt farther away, safer. President Laura Bennett stood in the Rose Garden. Cameras waited. She wore a simple gray suit. No tie, no fancy pins, just calm eyes and steady hands. She stepped to the small podium. The world watched. Billions of screens, big and small. Yesterday, she began, a fleet came to our home. They demanded our surrender. They fired weapons at our cities. They thought we would fall. They were wrong. She paused. Wind moved her hair a little. They are gone now, not defeated in battle, not pushed back. Gone. Our defenses acted. No bombs fell on us. No lives were lost. The threat ended in minutes. Earth stands untouched. People in living rooms nodded. In factories, workers listened on speakers. In schools, teachers let classes watch. Laura continued. We did not seek this moment. We did not want war. For many years we stayed quiet. We built our world. We learned. We grew strong in secret. Not to conquer, to protect. Last night we showed what that protection means. We showed the galaxy one clear rule. Leave us alone. She looked straight into the camera. To any who still listen out there, stay away from Sol. Do not send ships. Do not send messages of demand. Do not test us. We will not warn again. She stepped back. No long speech, no victory parade, just truth. The broadcast ended. Applause came from the staff around her, soft, real. In Houston, John Miller sat at his kitchen table. Their son played with blocks on the floor. John looked out the window. The sky was empty again, normal. He smiled. You okay? His wife asked. Better than okay, he said. It's over. In Chicago, Mary Evans walked to work. The hospital was busy as always. Patients smiled more today. Nurses talked in low voices about the night before. Mary checked her phone. A message from David. Home soon. Can't wait to hold you. She typed back. Hurry. In Seattle, Charles Green met his friends at the same park. They sat on the grass. No telescope today, just sun and talk. Think they'll come back? One friend asked. Charles shook his head. No. Word will spread. They'll tell stories, bad stories, about the blue world that eats fleets. They laughed. Not mean laughs, just free ones. High above, on the command station, Admiral Elizabeth Moore looked at empty space. General William Carter stood beside her. Screens showed green everywhere. No red dots, no alerts. Probes launched? Elizabeth asked. Already out, William answered. Heading to the rim. Listening posts. We'll know if anyone moves toward us. Elizabeth nodded. And the nodes? Standby mode. Ready in seconds if needed. But I think we won't need them for a long time. She turned. Send a message to the council. Full report. No secrets now. The world knows enough. They deserve the rest. Down in Colorado, Chief Scientist Robert Klein walked through his lab. Machines hummed low. Lights glowed soft. He touched a panel. A map appeared. Lines reaching out past Pluto. Probes moving. Sensors waking. He spoke to no one. We kept the secret long enough. Now the galaxy learns. Days passed. Weeks. Earth did not change much on the outside. Cities grew, farms planted, schools taught. But inside, people felt taller. Not proud in a loud way, quiet proud. The kind that comes after you face something huge and win without breaking a sweat. News came in bits. Alien traders near the edge of known space whispered. Ships from old Empire worlds turned back when they saw Sol on charts. Some sent careful messages, not demands, questions. We wish peace. May we approach? Earth answered the same way every time. Come as friends. Come unarmed. Come slow. Or do not come. Some came. Small ships. Careful ones. They stayed far out, talked by light, learned fast. Earth did not bow, did not beg, did not threaten. It just waited. And the visitors left with wide eyes and new stories. Inside the solar system, humans started to look outward again, not with fear, with calm interest. New ships built, not warships, explorer ships, science ships. They moved quiet, watched stars, studied planets. No rush, no need to conquer. The galaxy was big, plenty of room. One night, President Laura Bennett stood on the White House balcony. Stars filled the sky. She thought about the fleet that had come and gone, about the dust that no longer existed, about the silence that followed. She spoke softly to the night. We didn't want to be feared, but if fear keeps us safe, then let them fear. Far away, on a small station near Alpha Centauri, an alien captain looked at his screen. A human probe drifted past, small, unarmed, curious. The captain turned to his crew. That is the one, he said. The blue world. Do not approach without invite. His crew nodded. No jokes, no brave talk. Just respect. Back on Earth, John Miller took his family to the beach. They built sandcastles. Waves came in. Sun set red. His son pointed up. Look, Dad. Stars. John looked. Yeah, lots of them. Are we going there someday? John smiled. Maybe, when we're ready. But right now, home is pretty good. The boy nodded. Yeah, home is good. Night fell. Lights came on in houses. People slept. Dreams came easy. No shadows in them. No fear. Earth spun on. Quiet. Strong. Ordinary to the eye. But the universe knew better now. It knew what waited behind the blue calm. It knew what happened when someone dared too much. Humanity had not asked for the stars. The stars had asked for trouble. And humanity answered in the clearest way possible. Instantly. Completely. Forever.